Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Now we take on Aston Villa tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Games are coming in thick and fast because again, Arsenal are playing another game of football after 2 days of rest. It is going to be hectic. It is going to be absolutely very, very hectic. But of course, there is nothing to do. We do have the Europa League coming in as well. We still have a game in hand that will play on Wednesday. That is, I think, on the first day of March. Arsenal need to be strong. Arsenal need to be very, very strong. Mikel ARTETA has been speaking ahead of this game against Aston Villa, and he said currently the big news is with Thomas Partey. Is he going to be available? Will he play in this game? At least will we see him on the bench? That is what we're going to be talking about in this video. The full press conference from Mikel ARTETA, my reaction, and some of the key points that we have to talk about. But I think if you are worried with injuries, there's one thing I would say: no more big news in terms of players who are out, and no more big news in terms of players who are coming back, apart from Emile Smith-Rowe and Thomas Partey. Hit the like button for me, subscribe to the podcast as well. Join the family by subscribing, and of course you can join the community by pressing that join member button on your screen. So Mikel has been speaking at depth and at length before the Aston Villa game, and these are some of the quotes that we have from the Arsenal website. First and foremost, on Thomas Partey, he says we have to assess him again today. He has had some muscle discomfort, and we have to see how he is today. Now, I think this is a very, very tricky scenario with Mikel ARTETA and Thomas Partey. He knows this Arsenal team, this Arsenal system cannot run without Thomas Partey. And I'm asking myself a question here. Could we find another system? Could we find another way of winning games, of playing without Thomas Partey? We cannot rely on him because we know he's unreliable. And that's why we're trying to sign Moises Caicedo in January to try and find a player who can replace Thomas Partey like for like. But now we don't have him, and Mikel ARTETA is saying that they've got to assess him today, and then he has a muscle discomfort. That is straight away a message that he's not going to be playing in this game. That is straight away a message that he's not available in this game. Now, in the last game against Manchester City, I can confirm that it was a late fitness test that Thomas Partey failed, and eventually he was left out of the starting lineup. In the Aston Villa game, I think it's a game where we need to compete really. We need to be better. We need to run. We need to be physical. We need to be smarter. We need to be very, very aggressive, and we need to win. We need to win every duel that we actually throw ourselves into, every duel that we actually fight in. So for me, Partey, if he's not around, it's a big blow. It's a massive blow. And I don't know how we're going to go about it. Look, Jorginho looks a very, very basic player, and he can really replace Thomas Partey, but not at this moment. Not when we need our best performing midfielder at the most. Not when we need to win every duel. Not when we need to control the midfield. But it looks like Thomas Partey for tomorrow's game, unless otherwise, he's not playing in that one. Now, Mikel ARTETA on the fitness and updates of Emile Smith-Rowe and Gabriel Jesus. He says Emile will be training today and he is fine. He will be in the squad. Nice. Very, very nice. But then he says Gabi is still not there at the moment. There is no bigger update on Gabriel Jesus. He says he's not yet there, but this is the positive. This is the good one, guys. On Emile Smith-Rowe, he's going to be in training today. He's been training today, and he's definitely going to be in the squad for tomorrow. The big question: would you love Emile Smith-Rowe to start against Aston Villa? Yes, it's a rush. We are bringing him too early, but we need to freshen up things. We need to change. We are too predictable. It is very, very easy to stop this Arsenal side right now. It is so easy to stop. Everyone clearly sees through us. Everyone easily sees what they have to do against Arsenal, and it can't be the same. So for me, drop Xhaka and play Emile Smith-Rowe in that second attacking role. I don't care. Emil Smith Rowe is another attacking player. Emil Smith Rowe is another creative guy. In midfield, he can score the goals as well. Why not? Definitely, why not play in that game? So, in terms of the injury news, that is what we're having. A positive on Emil Smith Rowe. Mikel Arteta on the fresh challenge of being second in the league table. He says that's an opportunity, and I agree with that. And he says we've talked about it for a few months now. The position that we are in, the way the team is playing, and all the right things that we have to continue to do to earn the right to be there. We've seen where the level is. We want to be at that level, and we are on that journey together. There were a lot of positives to take from the Manchester City game, of course. Interesting. So Mikel says being in second is an opportunity. I mean, I'm not the strongest of Mikel Arteta fans, but I like him and I respect him and I'll back him because he's my manager. And I'm telling you this is a massive opportunity to be in second. It's a massive, massive opportunity to be in second. But only if we can take it. Only if Arsenal can, and our players can go, we are now in second. We are chasing Manchester City and there is no room for us to make a mistake. There is no room for us to sleep, okay? If we can do that, it's a massive opportunity. All the pressure of all their table leaders, or when they're getting, when are they getting, away from the top of the table? That pressure is gone, okay? And we are also looking to regain a status that belongs to us this campaign. I don't care if Manchester City have been the best team in the last decade. We've been the best team in England in terms of winning games and in terms of fighting for the ball and winning duels and creating chances and taking those chances. We've been the best team. So being in second is just going to help us through these very, very difficult times. We are going to fight with every might. We are going to fight with every bone in our bodies to get back to the position that we actually deserve to be in. So I think it's a positive. I think it's a really, really big positive. Mikel Arteta on whether he thinks our squad can match Manchester City week after week. And Mikel says, I've seen it with my eyes in 2 games, but the level of efficiency has to be extremely good. Has to be extremely good. Every single ball to beat them at the end. We are on a journey. We want to be there again. This team is highly motivated because just in case you didn't see it on the pitch or didn't feel it after the game because of the result, I showed them yesterday. All right, interesting. So he says we might not be there yet to match Manchester City week in, week out, but we know what to do. We definitely know what to do. We have to be, we have to be very competitive, and every single ball that we kick, every single kick that we take has to be now intentional, right? I think one thing Arsenal have to remember, and all these players, is we are not at the level of Brentford. We are no longer at the level of Watford. We are no longer a mid-table team. We are no longer, fighting relegation teams. We are a team that has consolidated and solidified their status as a Champions League goer for next season. And we are not going to the Champions League through playoffs. We are going to the Champions League as either champions, second, and at worst, third. So for me, it's that. You've got to show that status. You've got to, then manifest that status. And I think we've really, really, really done very well in the first games of the campaign. On whether Champions League football is the minimum, it says the minimum is that today they train exceptionally well, and that's what he says. Today they train exceptionally well. That is the minimum, right? Champions League football is not the minimum. The minimum, and I like Mikel because at times, the way he answers these questions really doesn't give away so much for the media to be ranting and screaming about. He says the minimum is for us to train extremely well, and then the rest will come later. On whether individual errors, why we lost on Wednesday, he says you have to give credit to a team when they beat you, but when you analyze the game, I think we lost it. Absolutely. And look, the moment you agree that you lost the game of football, then it gives you every opportunity to make amends. It gives you every opportunity to go back, look at the errors, look at why it didn't go your way, and then the moment you make reparations, you're bouncing back. On the atmosphere in the stadium on Wednesday, it says our fans were extraordinary in the game, supporting and inspiring the team. Obviously, there was an incident at the end that nobody's going to tolerate in our stadium, and the club is investigating that issue. And that issue is Kevin De Bruyne was coming off, and he was hit with butters by Arsenal fans. Now that is really dinosaur behavior. But I think that comes from Kevin De Bruyne pushing Mikel Arteta on the touchline. That is where it comes from. But it's dinosaur behavior. We should stay out of violence, and we should focus on winning the league. That's all. That's all I'm going to say on that. On our results for the past 3 games, it says you want to get maximum points, and we didn't get, and we didn't in the last 3 games. We have to look at ourselves. We have to be more efficient. With the amount of play and situations we have made, we haven't generated enough points, and that's down to us. We have to improve, and we have to improve that because we want to win more and more, games. I think the level of efficiency that we have shown in the past 4 games, not 3 but 4 games, has been mediocre. Absolute mediocre. So we've got to step up on that. On whether a quick turnaround will help us move on from the City game. Mikel says that's what we want to do. The schedule is a bit unusual, but it is what it is. The players are highly motivated for tomorrow's game because we want to perform well and win the game. I think, look, I don't know, but I kind of feel like the 3 games that are coming in thick and fast, I think 3 games within a space of 14 days. I could be right, I could be wrong. That is what we need. At the moment, we don't need 1 game and then, 3 weeks later, another game. What we need is a couple of games, tied together so that we win them and then get back to winning ways. So that you want to have those 5 in a row wins as quickly as you can. And Aston Villa away, Leicester away, Everton at home, those are the games where you need to pick up those points. Those are the games where you pick up those points. Leeds United at home and then Fulham away, right? Those are the games where you go, we've got to win, okay? I think there is a Bournemouth in there as well. So for me, the more we play football, the more games we play, the easier and quickly we bounce back. On facing Unai Emery, Mikel says he will always put up a very, very difficult test. He's a very, very good manager, and I have huge respect for what he's done in every club and the success he has actually had. On the team's high level of motivation after Wednesday's defeat, it says because they realized on the pitch and how they feel on the pitch when they are coming up when they're coming up against the best team that this league has had in decades, and how they performed against them, I sensed a lot of belief. They were hugely disappointed not to get the result, but now that is long ago. We are looking there and saying, guys, we are so far, we still need to improve, and now we are closer. But it wasn't enough because they were much more efficient than us. I don't want to dive into the Manchester City game. I was heartbroken. I was absolutely heartbroken on how big the gap between Manchester City and us is. It says, I don't know, in terms of points, we don't know. The feeling I had on the pitch was in many situations we matched them, and in many situations we were better than them. But in the boxes, they were far much better than us. On what's giving him belief in his players, Mikel says that when it comes to a match like the other day against Manchester City, who I know pretty well, and the players are able to produce what they produced, it gives me a lot of belief that we're going in the right direction. On how impressed he was by Jorginho on Wednesday, It says he's really, really good. He's come into the team and earned the respect of everybody. You see the leadership, his understanding of the game, how he's coaching everybody. I think he had a really, really, really good game. On if Leandro Trossard deserves a start a game soon, he says he's had an impact every time he's been on the field, so he's an option as always. On if it's frustrating to play on Wednesday night and then on Saturday lunchtime, it says it's very, very difficult to play tomorrow, but we will have full energy. It's not a worry. I want the players to be in the best position and the best mindset and in the best possible mindset and physically ready to get the challenge ongoing. And if the players can be at their physical best, having played on Wednesday, it says they are young, they have a lot of energy. And if the pressure of the title race could take its toll on inexperienced players, it says if you want to be on top, you have to go. You have to go and experience it. Looking at what they did the other day, it gives me a lot of encouragement to think they are actually ready. Mikel Arteta speaking to the press. I mean, I really kind of felt it that this was going to be a press conference of Manchester City Arsenal more than Aston Villa Arsenal. And of course, let me tell you something. These lunatics who ask these questions, these journalists, absolutely do. Piss me off at times. But he was asked whether he will make any changes to the Aston Villa game, and he says we knew that we would be playing within that time frame, and that's not an excuse. So he says no excuse, no changes expected. Let's just wait to see if and only if we can actually win that game. So that's Mikel Arteta, very, very confident in his press conference. I hope we can turn that confidence into our first win in 4 competitive games of football. See you soon.